markets, and you can use it in any financial asset: stocks, cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, ETFs, and even futures. I also invite you to follow us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Thank you.
Hey, Alex here with Apple ahead of earnings. Well, we downgraded this to strong sell, 232. It crashed, and when the stock got to 143, and you have it in the free course on how to invest, we said now we are recommending to close short positions, and if you want to buy shares of Apple, it is precisely when the crowd, all of them, they are bearish. You know, on TV, CNBC, Jim Cramer saying that Apple was going down to $120 eventually, blah, blah, blah. At the top, they were raising targets to $300. So I have no interest whatsoever. Obviously, meanwhile, the stock rallied, and none of them predicted that Apple would anytime soon be $200. On the contrary, so they were all of them downgrading, and now they are raising targets. Same situation as last year. So, in my opinion, what you should do, and then in fact I have informed people, is that you should not have a position through earnings. But more than that, in my case, okay, since I don't have any risk whatsoever due to the vast amount of profits that I've been discussing here. And by the way, I remind you that I reiterate the strong buy rating when that Croc American was announced also, on TV. I sold Apple, I sold Apple. I'm referring to Carl Icahn. I sold Apple like, Apple is now overvalued, and we were reiterating strong buy. And the share price, and the market cap more than doubled, okay? So I don't consider that Apple is cheap at all. On the contrary, even Mr. Warren Buffett is the primary investor in Apple. He does not consider the stock cheap. In fact, he has been waiting for the rally in Apple, obviously, to reduce his stake on the stock. If you want to remain or to be long the stock, it is up to you. I think that if the share price, is unable to break this line here, I think that it constitutes a concern for the stock. Okay, so I'm going to draw here a couple of lines, these two. Okay, and I'm going to put this, give here a color red. I think this is a major concern if the stock is unable to break these convergent lines. Okay. For those that they know what I'm talking about. So until earnings, if the stock is unable to break this line, then you can, at least myself, I will be, I'm going to put it here, selling short. Since I see this as bearish, technically speaking, okay? I'm not referring to the long term, I'm referring to the crowd that meanwhile turned again obviously bullish. They are all thinking about Apple to $250 and so on. But the most important, I repeat, it wants to be covering the short positions and reversing to the long side, buying, and it has been always the case with this for Apple for years, okay? Buying always when the crowd, all of them, they collapse, they capitulate, they turn bearish, is when you have to buy the stock, and not then when they are raising targets. Therefore, whether this is going to be today the top or tomorrow, or you have here the instructions. I can open a short position anytime, but these are the instructions for the rest of going into or ahead of earnings, better saying. And in fact, the stock is now reaching resistance, as you can see it here. Okay, technically speaking. All right. So while before the stock was, I'm going to drag this down, if I can. Well, here. Okay. So while the stock, when precise, it was $142 with Jim Cramer's, all these crocs, turned bearish, the stock was at support, as you can see it here. Okay. Live technical analysis there, our call in real time.